welcome. It's the Midday blog on this wonderful day here, the 16th of March. And things are just pressing along. I'm excited to be here and I'm ready to get back into what's happening with Jonah. Before I do, it's kind of how's it looking for COVID? How's it looking when you think about it, where you are and where you were, and I hope you're doing better. I hope you're feeling better. And this weather's not really happening. We had snow a couple days ago. Now we got 70 degrees. Something's going on. I don't know. But it's my hope that all of you are doing well and you're feeling good inside your spirit. Don't give up what you think is like a finality and just be careless. But continue to watch yourself and do what you need to do. Those places where they ask you to put your mask, don't do me a favor. Be the bigger Christian and just go ahead and do what the right thing says to do if that's what they ask you to do. I totally get it that everybody doesn't want a shot. I totally get it that everybody thinks everybody should have a shot. In the churches and in the surrounding there's all different kinds of ways of looking at things. But let's just be the bigger Christian. Let's just do what we need to do to help as many people out as possible. That'll make it all better for everybody. So I'm glad I get a chance to say that. I'm also glad I get a chance to tell you that I'm excited about what's going to happen and what's already been happening in this 2022. It is our January is superb. Our February turned out great, and March is really just moving right along. We're seeing more and more people come back to church. We're seeing more and more people online. And that's funny. The people come back to church and then online, still having a whole lot of people coming on. What's going on? Is God moving? Is he stirring things up and trying to help us see that we need him more than ever? And I'm listening to all the people talk online, the different pastors and things. What are they saying? What are they talking about? Which is really kind of a nice segue for us to get into Jonah. God told Jonah in Jonah chapter 1, look, I need you to go to that great city of Nineveh, and I need you to take care of those guys. And I need you to tell them what thus says the Lord, so to speak. And he kind of just gave it to him. Jonah just couldn't do it. He had an assignment, didn't want to take his assignment. And many of you understand what that's all about. He took a trip. He decided to go on a cruise, and he gets on this boat, and he's on this boat, and everybody's watching him, and he goes downstairs to go to sleep. There's stormy weather. Everything is happening. And they were believing that this was because something was not right. Something was going on. They prayed to their God. Nothing happened. But they said, let's see about this guy and his God. What's going on? And he told them, yeah, God's punishing me because I didn't do what he told me to do. Well, you better get up and do it because we're about to die here on this water, won't you? Well, what you have to do is throw me overboard. Do what? Let's pull straws and see what's happening. And the end result, they did throw him overboard. And once they threw him overboard, guess what? The water calmed down. But God didn't just stop right there. He said, look, I'm going to make sure I take care of you. You know, even that kind of tells me something. Even in the midst of your terrible times, even in the midst of those things that you see as pain and punishment and hurt and things like that, sometimes God is just setting you up for a blessing in the midst of all that. And here this young man is. Here's Jonah. He's set up for a blessing right here. Because here's what Jonah chapter 2 said. We left chapter 1 to go to Jonah chapter 2. Then Jonah prayed to the Lord. Why? He was inside a fish. From the inside of a fish. God so took care of him, and in the midst of what he's going through, he put a fish there big enough to take him, to swallow him whole. And here's the thing. And Jonah prayed to the Lord, his God, from inside the fish. Now you got to get that his God, because before, remember when the sailors were looking at him, they were praying to their God. But then they said when they wanted to pray to a God, they prayed to Jonah's God, Jehovah, because he's the one who could make things happen, and he made something happen. Verse 2, he said, I cried out to the Lord, in my great trouble, and he answers me. Oh, I cried out to the Lord in my great trouble. You know, some of us go through great trouble, great trials, great tribulation, and some things we don't want to tell anybody about. Some things we don't want anyone to see. But we have all these inside things that are grumbling. Now, who could Jonah tell what he was going through while he was in the belly of a fish? He couldn't tell anyone. The sailors knew they threw him overboard. They probably, for all intents and purposes, thought he was bait, maybe, or just drowned, whatever, or drowned, or whatever. We really don't know. But here's the thing. He called out to the Lord in his great trouble. You know, sometimes we get into that place. I called out to you and the Lord from the dead. From the land of the dead, what he said. I called to you from the land of listen, when you don't see no end, you don't see how it's going to get any better, you don't see the circumstances changing, as you consider your situation, Take Jonah and look from the inside out. See what you see. I called to you from the land of the dead, and guess what? Lord, you heard me. God is not too far from you to where he can't hear you. He can't understand what it is you need from him. And I just want to say to you right now, with just all sincerity, I believe what Jonah was saying. Like, I'm at my wits' end. I'm at the bottom of the bottom. I got nowhere to go. Oh, God, you got to help me in this area right here. I cried out to you from the land of the dead, Lord, and you heard me. You threw me into the ocean depths and I sank down. God didn't throw you. He allowed them to throw you into the depths because you knew that what had to happen, because you told them, throw me out there and this is what will happen. And you sank down to the heart of the sea. That's where you went, says verse 3. The mighty waters engulfed me. I was buried. That's where that land of the dead from. Beneath your wind and your stormy waves. This had got to be a terrible time for him. This has got to be. You ever been to one of those places where you're like, God, you are not hearing me. You're not listening to me. You got to be kidding me. I'm going through this, and you're not going to help me through this. This is Johnny talking. This is Mark talking. This is Tommy talking. This is Alice. This is whosoever. This is me talking, and this is what you're going to let me go down to. You threw me in these ocean deep. I sank down. All you have is just covering me. And I'm asking you, as I said in verse 2, I cried out to you in my great trouble. Then the Lord said, verse 4, then I said to the Lord, O Lord, you have driven me from your presence, yet I will look once more towards your holy temple. Listen, I know everybody can get a grip on what he's saying now. Look, I got nothing else to do but to give you glory and to give you praise and to ask you, I need you. I need you now more than ever. I really do need you now. And sometimes that's what some of us need. A good swift kick is what we used to say. You need a checkup from the neck up. Something in your Noah is not working right. So you have to get this thing right. You have to let God know, okay, I messed up. I did what I should not have done. I'm in a peculiar situation right now that I really don't want to be, and I need you to help me out of this situation. Jonah's in a bad place. What about you? You in a bad place right now? Looking from the inside out, what do you see? Jonah saw waves. He saw crashing water in the sea. He saw everything around him was just on top of him. He was inside something he was unfamiliar with. Some of you are in situations you're unfamiliar with, and it's just not the norm. And God still answered him. He heard him in his situation. That's the God I serve. That's my God. He will hear you in the worst of situations. So much more can be said on this, and so much more can be put into this. But I want to tap that just a little bit, because I've got to bring on the next few verses, the next two really, that really is gonna make sure that it just kind of takes you to where you need to be. So when we come back next week, get ready to hear what happened to Jonah once God answered his cry. The Lord bless you. I pray God for you. I pray your blessing. I pray whatever circumstance you're in right now, whatever challenge you're going through right now, you understand, cry to the Lord. I called on the Lord. He heard my cry. I went for you. Psalm 34 kind of helps you understand that, and you can just see you cried out to the Lord. I pray a blessing over you that no matter what you're going through, no matter what your circumstance is, God's still able. He's still there. The Lord bless you. It's indeed an honor to see you and to be with you. I'll see you next week.